Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. I am your host, Hayden Haynes, and join me today is Seth Killen.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, we are missing our other
Missing a piece of the
extravagant
puzzle here.
co-host,
Yep.
Cody Hart. He's been dying bad. He's a little sick. Think everybody's been battling some cold
Yeah,
stuff off and
it's
on
been
here.
rough.
But he'll be back. Don't worry about that. But we just wanted to say thanks for everybody that's been tuning in, checking in on us. But we did not post episode 8 last week when we were supposed to. We've been busy with the guys,
Yeah.
busy with work. People have been sick, and also College Football 25 came out, and so it's been a little bit of a problem. The boys, me and Cody
Yeah.
specifically, have been grinding, and we've been a little bit. It's been a hectic week to say the least. But we're back. We're better than ever.
Oh
Unfortunately,
yeah.
no Cody to give us that crazy antics that he always has, but we'll get him next week, and
Yeah.
he'll be
Don't worry.
back and better than ever, fully
Yeah, he'll
rested and
be.
recharged.
Yep. He'll be going crazy.
Be going dummy. But today is going to be short and sweet, nothing too short. We're still going to have some good stuff to talk about here. We're going to start by talking about the video game that dropped. Obviously, we mentioned it already. College Football 25. Just going to chat about that for a little bit.
The game of the
Seth's
century.
Seth's a PC guy, so he can't get that, but
Yep.
he has seen gameplay. So we're going to talk
And
about
I've
that.
watched Cody play.
He's watched us play. I've streamed it for him a little bit. He's seen it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about NFL news. We did just get training camp starting back this week, and some other players that are not at camp or are possibly holding out in camp and just won from their deals. CeeDee Lamb is
Half
one of
my
them.
fantasy team.
So his fantasy
My
team is
first
going
two
through it.
picks.
But we're gonna talk about that. Team USA, how they did in their preliminary games before the Olympics, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about the summer league that's happened with the top three players. We're not gonna do too much uh, else with the NBA, and then finally just some fantasy football would you rather's just to kind of keep that going and you know experiment on who we would rather have and whatnot. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, obviously a couple of things I want to talk about for the NCAA game, College Football 25.
Yes,
I
please
know
talk,
I
sir.
know like the first day or two, I saw they did like $70 million.
Yeah.
It was like 700,000 people were online, like on their servers playing online after the first day.
That was
Um,
insane.
yeah, I know we all already talked about how you just like load up, and anytime me and Cody were trying to run the Dynasty online, it was like EA servers
It's
are
like you
down.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a obviously we all knew that was gonna happen. I can't
Yeah.
think of a game. When was the last time, Seth? Because you're a big gamer. When was the last time you saw a game that was like this, where it came out, it was like instant chaos, and you just couldn't play it really?
Honestly, it might have to be COD
Yeah,
or on some nerd shit, on
yeah,
some World of Warcraft,
yeah. Okay.
on
I'm
some nerd
trying to
shit.
think about
But
like because I don't play GTA a lot, but I know that in the past when they've had these like big updates or whatever, it kind of gets crazy. A lot of
people will
people
go
run to
crazy.
that.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking that's probably like the only thing I can think of as far as video games. 2K at the time, back when we were younger, was a big
yeah.
deal when it came out. Obviously, Madden at the time, maybe, but it's nothing like this. This is something on a
No, no,
whole
this is
different
crazy.
level.
Yeah,
Obviously, we've been waiting on it for 10 plus years.
yeah.
All the hype about it, what they're going to be changing. They're, incorporating the NIL, they're incorporating transfer portal, all
That's
the
so
new
crazy.
conferences. Like I'm telling you, dude, all I've been playing, I'll speak from my experiences, is basically what I always loved playing, which was Dynasty or Road to Glory. But I've literally played 85%, 90% Dynasty because it is
Yep.
so addicting. Even though I'm gonna get back into Road to Glory, I've just been grinding this Bama
You
Dynasty.
can't. It's hard not to with all
I'm
the
in
stuff you
year,
can do
dude. I'm
into
in
it.
like 2026 already, and I'm just recruiting my ass off. But dude, I was pissed because I figured out like I was recruiting a little bit backwards. Like sometimes the biggest way to recruit, you have like 4 or 5 options when you're recruiting a player. The 5 hours, you get hours basically as your like currency to like recruit. So you're like
Hmm.
5 hours is the bare minimum you could do for a recruit, which is like DM the player or whatever, slide in the
Which is
DMs,
wild. Yeah.
which is crazy. And then 10 is like I remember 10.
I know
God, it's
one of them
killing
was
me.
like talk
25
to
is talk to the
family and
friends and
friends.
family. I don't know why I can't think of the 10 right now, but 25 is to speak to the friends and family, and then 50 is the biggest, which is send the house. So like
Send the
everybody
hash.
everybody goes and talks to them
I
and then
think one of them
sketch
was check social media.
check social media. That's
I
it.
think
Send
something like that.
so I was like doing it all fine and dandy at first, and then I like went to my 2025 season and I started recruiting, And I was like, just going down the list, like, all right, 5, then I'll do 10, then I'll do 25. And then I would go to 50 and I'd be like, I can't do 50. And then I'm like, oh, because I can only do like 60 hours per player. I was like, I forgot about that. So I just kind of like did the whole season like that. I wasn't really thinking. And I realized, man, I'm not getting any 5 stars. Like, I'm at Bama.
You gotta go
I
all
gotta
in on
send
the
the
5 star.
Haas.
Yeah.
So this year I'm sending the Haas. But it's
Uh-oh.
all good. I'm 32-0 with 2 natties back to back. But maybe I quit against Georgia a couple times.
Well, maybe
That's
you
about
should
it.
like not be Alabama
Yeah. Could
and be
just
like
turn it on
some
Heisman
crazy.
mode. But
I
me
mean,
and
yeah,
Cody
I
already said
guess.
we not losing. Like we can't. It's too much Bama in us. We can't let that happen. Even if it's a video game, we can't let that happen, man. So I'm never
I
gonna
got
lose. But in my
I
other
gotta do the
dynasty,
Yukon dynasty. That's what I want to do.
that'd be a grind, brother.
I
But
know, it'd be lit.
there's really not a lot we want to talk about other than that. Just, I mean, I will say in the road to glory, it's funny because obviously we've seen the clips of like you gotta study, man. Gotta hit the books because I'm like third
Dude.
string on the depth chart. I'm
I
trying to
was
make
getting
it on the
so weak at
field.
that.
My mama's here. My family's here. Nah, it's
It
crazy
was
though.
in
Just like thinking about in the game, you'll get messages or whatever on your phone, and it's from your academic advisor, it's from your teammates, your classmates. Sometimes it's from a girl or whatever that you're like
bro. I
getting
got
hit
so
up.
weak at the one with the girl, and then they're like asking if you want to go to the party,
Yeah, and
and
he's
then they
like,
send like
yeah.
3 paragraphs
Yeah, and
back
then
to
he's like
back to back.
simping, just down bad, and then she gets he gets hit with a block.
Blog.
He blocks him.
It's
Nah,
like
it's
no
crazy, bro.
way,
They made it so real. I'm like, my boy, he's simping right
dude.
now.
Double texting
Triple
paragraphs is
tech,
correct.
bro.
Triple
Like,
texting paragraphs.
bro, we need to
That's some
relax,
yeah.
buddy.
Like let's send a one sentence. Like yeah, I'd love to
You're
go
a
to the party.
little too excited there.
Yeah,
No, but like
let's relax.
then there's other stuff like I've seen dudes become ineligible because like they just won't study or whatever, and then you can't even get on the field. And then you got guys that are like going through the underdog route or whatever, and you're basically like a 67 overall,
And you're just sitting that
one
bench.
star, 2 star, and you're riding that bench for 3 years. And they said senior year, this dude said he had first year 0 snaps, second year 0 snaps, third year 2 snaps, and then the last year, bro, I think he played just like 20% or something of the season. Like it was
And then
weird.
what do you do after senior year? You're done,
Done.
right?
You're going to get your CDL, brother. You're done. You're hit the nine to
Dude,
five like it's like all the normals.
like all of us.
We're not going to the league, man. We're
We're
going to
going back to
we're
the
going
truck.
to Old Navy. That's where we go. Anyway, shout out Old Navy. If
Send
you
an
want to
old Navy man.
sponsor us, man.
Sponsor.
And
Waiting on
then
that email.
what else is there? So I've done like the other thing I did was what I was showing you that one time where I was basically just playing like the online mode. And
Hmm.
it's like kind of like where 2K, you have like these tiers you go through and you just play like 3 minute quarters at first. I've only done it like, one day and I did like 4 games and half the time everybody's quitting and
Yeah.
whatever. For what like literally the dumbest reasons. Like I told you that one guy, like first play, I like completed a long pass down the middle and he just quit. And I'm like, all
Yep.
right, thanks for the free dub. But like, anyways, that's some stuff I want to keep diving into. I don't know if I'll play Ultimate Team that much just because it's a grind. You gotta like really work on that or spend money.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's a great game. The mechanics in it are flawless. The hurdle animation has
Yeah,
got me
that's
right now.
crazy. Yeah.
Literally.
The hurdle
Um,
animation's wild.
but I love it and I just can't wait to keep playing it and I'll be playing it all night.
Yep. Yep.
Nah, but like first
You
night,
will.
second
Don't let him
night,
fool you.
that weekend came around. Friday night, I was up at 4 in the morning.
Yep. We
Oh,
both were.
it was a long night. And then I looked at my thing on the PS app and it said 48 hours played. I said the game's been out a
2 whole
week.
days.
The game's been out a week. That's more than I worked this week.
Yeah.
I worked 40 hours. Yeah, I'm playing the game 48 hours. I think I need to relax.
I think we got our priorities straight, honestly.
Dude, I saw this TikTok right before I got on here. It was like this kid. He's like, being the coach at Baylor got me almost messing up on my 9 to 5. And it's like him like waking up to his alarm, like just dipping out the house because he's late. And he's just like, all these nights sleepless. I can't keep doing it. I can't keep trying to grind for these recruits. But yeah, so anyways, going into some more football talk. NFL. training camp. This is this week. It just started as of like
We're
yesterday.
so close, dude.
Think the Falcons kind of like went in today and they kind of just got settled in. I don't really know why they didn't just go to practice, but they are practicing tomorrow. So we'll see about that. But there's some teams already out there practicing. I did see there's a couple fights that have happened
Yeah,
involving the Chiefs first with Kadarius Toney getting boomed by George Karlaftis, the edge rusher, and basically they just don't have pads on, so it was a no-no. But George boomed him, and then Travis Kelce got up in his face,
I
and
believe it, man.
Kadarius Toney threw the football at George Karlaftis like as soon as it happened, like just beamed him with it.
As you
Um,
should, I guess.
I mean, yeah, like if you're not wearing pads, I think that's a little messed
Like,
up.
come
Like
on, Bray. Why are you?
I get you're hitting, but you're in the NFL. Like this is money. These are your teammates,
Yeah,
and you're getting hurt. You're at like that could be it.
yeah,
Like imagine you did that to Patrick Mahomes. Like I don't know.
yeah. No, you're getting kicked off the
That
team
was
if
a
you did
little
that to
weird.
Patrick
I
Mahomes.
mean, that happens a lot though. So I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes I feel like maybe like he did that for a reason. Like maybe he one, it could be like a beef thing. Maybe he has beef with Kadarius Toney. Two,
Might
maybe
be
maybe he knew that like it was kind of gonna be something. And he just wanted to get the vibes up, get the competition, juice flowing.
juiced up.
Maybe on some meathead material. Like
Meathead, yeah,
let me just go
yeah.
ahead and get in a beefy battle early on. Like this is like the first day, and
The
then
first day.
I saw Texans were already going at it. Apparently, I can't remember what happened. It was Diggs and a couple other players, like Stingley maybe or somebody else on the defense. I gotta look it up after this, but I swear people were just already talking about Diggs is already causing problems. I don't know if it was really Diggs though, but like I think maybe he was in there in the mix. But there was a little beefiness going on there, so we know
Uh,
football is back. And then I wanted to just kind of
you
talk
better
about
ball.
yeah, I was wanted to
I
talk about
need him, man.
really
Fantasy player,
the
another one.
headliners. Oh, that's right, that is right.
Yeah.
The biggest news though is obviously your boy CD Lamb holding out holding out right now, not at camp,
Yeah, I love
and
it.
so is Brandon Ayuk. They're both in
No, I
their
do love that actually.
fourth year. So they came into the league with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson obviously got paid and he got the most
Give him the
money.
bag.
So the Cowboys basically have done this a couple times now where they've waited too long to pay players and it's kind of, been terrible, like the worst decision
Dude,
possible.
what are we doing?
Just pay him.
It's literally
He's
CD
your best
Lamb.
player on the team, so just pay
Yes, bro.
him.
What are we
Like you could
doing?
argue Dak's the best player, but I think it's CD Lamb. Like CD Lamb
I
and
think
Micah
it's CD.
Parsons are the best players.
And
Um,
then it's Dak, maybe.
and then
Like
it's
it's those
Dak.
three.
And then you could argue, like, honestly, I would say Trayvon Diggs, when healthy,
Okay, yeah,
is a good
yeah,
corner.
yeah.
Obviously, he's been a elite at times. Gets burnt a little bit. I know people that are watching this might say, "Oh, he gets torched," but like he gets a lot of interceptions. He's a good player. So that those are like their big guys. They pay Trayvon Diggs. They've in the past paid Dak, but now they're you got to extend them again. The CD Lamb thing is just bizarre because, like
Dude,
we've
what are we
said, how
doing?
do you just let the money keep going up because you're just letting them sit there and be like, oh, such and such just got paid this much. Like, say Brandon Ayuk does reach a deal with the Niners, and it's pretty lucrative. Like, it's pretty nice because it sounds like that's what's going to happen. It sounds like honestly, Brandon Ayuk's really not going to go anywhere because he's at the
Dude, I
camp,
hope he goes to
he's
the
just chilling.
Steelers.
But it really seems like the both sides are trying. Like even though Ayuk is doing all this stuff, he said like in podcasts that he still feels like he would ultimately just want to end up in a Niners uniform if things were how he
Yeah,
wanted or something. Blah blah
yeah.
blah. And the Niners want to pay him, but they just don't want to pay him $30 million, which I get. So
I mean,
maybe they'll
yeah.
meet in the middle, like 27, 28. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I don't
So
know either, man.
that's
I want him to
interesting.
the Steelers though.
This always happens though, I feel like with wide receivers. I mean, there's a little bit of drama with them, but it is what it is. Get your bag. But also
I
CeeDee
mean, yeah.
Lamb is subject to possibly 40,000 in fines each practice he misses, but it does say that the Cowboys could
That
like
boys can pay that.
they could waive it essentially because
Yeah.
he's still on his rookie deal. Um, so I guess that means like if you were in your rookie deal, you would just have to pay those fines yourself, but whatever. So
I
the other
mean,
guy
I
that's holding
think
out, that's a big name, is Hassan Reddick, the pass rusher for
I
the
saw that,
Jets,
yeah.
who was traded from the Eagles. Now he was in Japan. He missed like voluntary OTAs or minicamp or all that stuff, whatever. He wasn't there. He's not there today for training camp. Aaron Rodgers is though, however, he was missing a little bit earlier in the offseason. He's back. Hassan
Good
Reddick
to see he's
is
back.
definitely trying to get out of there, or he is trying to get a big bag. I don't know, like we talked about before, why they didn't reach some kind of verbal agreement, like when they traded, like, hey, we're gonna pay you. We just had to do this first, or we just gotta
Yeah,
figure out
like you
some
traded
numbers,
him
or
for what?
you trade him. Like it wasn't a lot they gave, I don't think. Maybe just like a third round or something. But yeah, you don't really have a plan for him, so it's a little weird for both sides. Maybe he is just trying to push his way out, but I feel like they're a good team on paper that he should try to stick through it. But
Hell yeah.
maybe he's just his head's in a
He's just
crazy
done, I
space, and he
guess.
just
Yeah.
doesn't know like really maybe his value is not as good as he thinks it is because he's a great player. He affected the Super Bowl and playoff runs that they had in the last couple of years. Like the year they went to the Super Bowl, he was like one of the league leading players in sacks. He definitely dominated the Super Bowl and the playoffs. He's just a dog, but I don't really know.
He is
He's
a
been
dog,
injured.
man.
Maybe he's just waiting to get paid because he thinks I'll get injured and then I'm not going to get paid that whole deal. So who
I mean,
knows?
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So this happens a lot. Obviously, we see it every year. It's just, which guy is going to be that guy that's going to, screw up and not get the bag when he should have just gotten the money or, whatever. The team screwed up. So it's a very interesting time right now in the offseason. Only other thing for the NFL I could really think of off the top of my head before we do this little game real quick is Hard Knocks has been going. Oh, this is something interesting. Hard Knocks has been doing their new show, which is like the off season for the Giants, which is just basically focusing on the front office. And
Yeah.
you got to see like the back, just the behind the scenes look of what did they do after the season ended, all the way up until the draft. And it was cool. Like if you just are into football like that, and you want to see all the little conversations. Like it's really interesting because they never have done it, so you really get all the all your shit just aired out. Like literally, you're on the phone with Saquon Barkley if you're the GM Joe Shane of the Giants, and you're just having this negotiation with him and his agent, and it's like all on HBO, and your coach is talking about
Yeah, dude,
what
that's
he likes, and
crazy.
it's just like crazy to see because basically there's a couple of things I'll rip off, and I didn't have in the script, but it's very interesting. One, the GM for the Giants' son has been going viral because he's like a young teenager, and he literally said before the draft, he was like, basically the Giants should go up and draft Jaden Daniels because you only have like he was talking to his dad. He was like, you only get this job once. You need to make the most of it. So
Yeah.
his dad came in after the old like regime drafted Daniel Jones, so he didn't draft Daniel Jones. So the coach Brian Daboll, the GM Joe Shane have no ties to Daniel Jones. So it's been interesting to say the least because they wound up paying him all the 40 million. They're kind of experimenting with him still, and then they're in the background talking about obviously we like Jaden Daniels, we like Drake May, like we know we
Yeah.
can't get Caleb Williams, but like we could possibly move up with the Patriots at 3 from 6, but it would take a lot, like a lot, because the Patriots really want a quarterback.
Yeah.
So you got to see all those conversations. It's very interesting. It sounds like they just do not like in a nice way. They were just saying like we do not feel great about Daniel Jones, but we're at
Yeah.
least gonna get him Malik
I
Neighbors
mean,
and
they
see
got him
what
a
he can do.
weapon, yeah, with Malik.
Right. And then there's been clips today coming out of Danny Dom's looking rough. He was like 2 for 8 at one point. He
Dude,
missed a wide open swing pass to the running back. It was just way over his head. He's come
what
back
are
from
you
an ACL, so
doing?
I'll give him a little benefit of the doubt. But like, if he can't get it done with, to me, a pretty solid wide receiver core, because if I was thinking about it, if Malik Neighbors is actually him, which I think he is, because he's been compared to Jamar Chase. So if he comes out
Yeah.
and is like Jamar Chase, LSU, same height, same weight, same speed, that's an elite wide receiver,
Yeah, I
top
mean, look,
top 10 potential.
exactly, yeah.
Then
100%.
Wandale Robinson, who's also from the SEC from Kentucky, is a speedy slot guy. Great player for him at times when he has been healthy in his first couple of years. And
Yeah.
he's somebody that's on my fantasy team. I'm not just saying that because he is, but like he's literally going to be a dog, I think. And the third guy is Jalen Hyatt, who's a 4-3 burner, just a deep threat from Tennessee. So all these guys are like SEC talent wide receivers drafted in the top couple rounds. So like they could be pretty good,
Yeah.
but they got to have a quarterback. And then also the Devin Singletary running back, room is kind of mid. Like it's like
It's
him and a
kind of
bunch of
not the
nobodies.
best, yeah.
So like if they don't have a run game and they don't have Danny Dimes cooking, and you just got 3 good wide receivers like just going to waste on their rookie
Then
contracts,
yeah, what
like
are we doing?
and
We gotta do something.
all they really did in the offseason was they got 2 good interior offensive linemen, which they talk about on the show. It helps. They were trying to tell Saquon, like, hey, we're getting these offensive linemen, like it's gonna be good. And then they did go draft or they did go trade for Brian Burns, one of the best pass rushers from the Panthers, which was good.
Dude.
So their D line is nasty because you got Dexter Lawrence in the middle, you got Kayvon Thibodeau, and then you have Brian Burns. But they lost Xavier McKinney, the safety, to the Packers. They don't really have too much other than the D line and their wide receivers. And then they don't have Darren Waller. So they drafted Theo
Dude.
Johnson. And now
Yep.
Theo Johnson's the starter. So it's just like a weird dynamic. And you see all of it on the
It
show. So
is, dude.
that's why I was yapping to say that I just found that very interesting. I didn't even think about putting it in the script, but I'd
Yeah.
recommend people to go watch that. But sorry, I just
That is
wanted to
pretty wild,
yeah, it's
man.
very you just see
Makes
all
the
of like their
Eagles, and then the Eagles are just sitting there with Saquon, AJ
Saquon.
Brown, Jalen.
Yeah. They're
Like
just
that's just
cooking, dude.
nasty.
But
Yeah.
it's just because that's one thing that you bring up a good point. Like,
Yeah.
so the one scene is the owner or CEO, like the president. He basically comes in and he's talking to the GM, and he's like, I would feel really like bad if Saquon went to the Eagles.
Yeah.
The
And
next
what
scene
happens?
is Saquon signing the deal to the Eagles. It's just so funny. So,
Oh man.
anyways,
And they were like, I think I saw something too where the GM was like, I don't think I'd be able to sleep at night if
that was it. That was the
that was
president. That was the
yeah.
president.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think I'll be able to sleep at night if he goes to Philadelphia. And then
Yeah, what happened?
yeah. So you see all of that.
Oh, that's so
But the
funny,
last thing
man.
I'll say is like they definitely this in my mind was their top three players. They wanted Jaden Daniels. The quarterback from LSU, they wanted him, but obviously they knew he was going to go high. He went to their
Yeah.
rival Commanders at 2, which hurts. Like they got hurt because a
Yeah, they did
best
get
player
hurt.
went to their rival, and then their best draft player that they wanted went to their rival. So,
Yep.
anyways, then they wanted possibly Drake May, but like they couldn't trade up with the Patriots. And then they said, screw it. We'll just take best player available, and
The
that's
poor
Malik
Giants,
Neighbors.
man.
And anyways, to tell that was a very interesting show. But I wanted to play a game real quick, Seth, just off the top of your head. Top 5 sleeper NFL teams that basically their requirements for this top 5 has to be they did not make the playoffs last year. That is it. And they're kind of flying
Mm,
under the radar. So just think about teams that did not make the playoffs. And I can go first if you want to, see what I got to say about that so you can gather your thoughts.
yep.
But basically, I was just thinking about, who did the most in the off season and who's got a
Hmm.
fairly manageable schedule. And I thought about their not only their draft, but their free agency acquisitions, their trades, yada yada yada, and also um their competition that they're going to be playing like in their division. So to say all that, I don't really have an order for these 5. I didn't like rank them like
Okay.
number one sleeper. I just kind of have 5.
Yeah.
First off the top of my, I guess I'll try to rank them as I go. The first team that's like the number one sleeper in the league, and it's been floated out there recently.
And they're not.
And
They
I
did make the playoffs.
and I can't believe this guy isn't here today, but it's the Tennessee Titans,
Wow.
the
Wait.
number one
Yeah.
sleeper in the league for me,
I
just
like that.
because we know what they did. They basically
Yeah.
said, we're redoing the entire look of our team. They got rid of their coach. They got the Cincinnati Bengals OC. So now you're bringing in that same kind of style of offense where you got the quarterback who's supposed to be, pretty good with Will
Mhm.
Levis. Like he was drafted
Mhm.
high for a reason. He's
Mhm.
got the tools. He's shown flashes. Then you get 2 new wide receivers. One was Calvin Ridley, who they saw twice a year, who actually destroyed the Titans last year when he was at the Jags. So they said, come on over. Then they went and got Tyler Boyd, who was on the Bengals, because he knows the scheme and he knows the
Yep.
offense.
Yep.
And then you already had D Hop.
Yeah,
So
you're
those 3 are
crazy.
like that's a top, honestly, 5 wide
That
receiver
is. And I
room.
mean Tony P
Then
behind
you
in the
get Tony
backfield too.
Pollard, you have Tajay Spears. So you're going with like a Joe Mixon style running back, which is, pass catching back, doesn't get the ball a
Yeah.
lot, like in the out of the backfield. They're not going to give him 20 touches a game
Yeah.
necessarily, but like 10 to 15 carries for both guys.
Yeah.
And then couple catches out the backfield, some, whatever they want to do. They line them up a wide receiver. Like I feel like they'll get pretty, versatile. But to say all that, they're also a team that did some stuff on the defense. They got L'Jarius Sneed, top corner from the Chiefs. They also got Jamal Adams, which I know he's kind of washed, but he's still only like
I mean, it's
28.
still Jamal
And he's
Adams.
versatile too because he could play a little bit of like come up in the box and play like a linebacker hybrid role.
He's still a threat
You get a
to
safety.
look
He's an
at.
athletic player. He knows the ball, so I'd give him for that. It's like a C plus kind of acquisition. But the L'Jarius Sneed thing was real. They already have Jeffrey Simmons. They drafted two huge human beings because they basically drafted J.C. Latham at 6, I believe, or 7, wherever they were, from
Yeah.
Alabama, the offensive lineman, and then they drafted the D lineman from Texas. So to say all that, I got them up there number one. Number two, I got another guy that's not here. That's our boy Jack, the Bears, Chicago
Yep.
Bears, flying under the radar just a
I
little
like
bit.
that.
Obviously number one
I
pick.
like
It's
that.
hard to stay out of the news, but I love what they've done in the offseason. Obviously, getting Caleb and Rome. You got Keenan Allen. You have DJ Moore. It's you got Gerald
Garrett
Everett.
Crack. You
You
got
have
DeAndre Swift.
Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. That was like the most insane rebuild I've seen in a
Yeah.
long time.
And quick.
And they were
And quick.
horrible for a couple years with Mitch and
Yeah.
Justin. So, anyways, the Bears defense was also really solid last year. I think they'll be fine. They got Montez Sweat in the middle of the season last year. That's a great team. They're going to be good.
It
So
is a great team. It's a
that
scary team.
division is nice with the Lions and the Packers, and the
Yeah.
Vikings are all right, but like they could make the playoffs if they just NFC's not crazy, so they can make the playoffs. And then third on my list is interesting. Team that didn't make the playoffs. I'm just trying to go through my head real quick. Okay, so
Let me
this one
throw one
this
in.
this is a team. I'll let you just do yours, sir. I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but basically
No, you're good.
I was
I
just
don't even have a
thinking, well, I'm
list.
thinking about my
It's
order
off the top of the
essentially.
dome here.
I guess third, I'm gonna say this is kind of weird, but it makes sense to me. The Arizona Cardinals. And I
Okay.
say that because they were pretty competitive without, any players last year. Like they didn't have
Yeah.
Kyler, they didn't have
Wait,
Marvin
were they
Harrison.
competitive though? I'm pretty sure they were like two
Yeah,
and
no, no, no. But the thing was with them, the whole season was like they were in every game. Like they were never like
oh yeah, that's
getting
true.
blown out. So everybody was
Yeah.
like very impressed that they managed to do what they did because early on they had Josh Dobbs. They kind of like they beat the Falcons with like Kyler Murray came back for his first game in a year. Like they did all these like they were in a lot of really competitive games. They beat the Cowboys. Like it was a weird year for them, but obviously they just didn't have their top player. Then they go and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. That and then they got
That's
a
correct.
running back from Florida State to help kind of like alleviate the running game off of James Conner.
Yeah.
They have a solid coach that was from the Eagles. He was a DC there. He knows how to win. He knows what needs to be done. They played really hard. They were really motivated, and they really didn't have a lot of reason to be. So I
Yeah.
think they'll be
Facts.
a sneaky team. Like I'm not saying they're gonna necessarily make the playoffs, but they could be like right there at the end because Kyler is gonna make some plays, and Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm telling you, I got him for Rookie of the Year, and I just think like
Yeah.
that just gets you a couple dubs like off the
It
rip.
does. I mean,
And if they develop a little bit on the defensive side, I mean, Buda Baker's still there. I know they don't really have a lot of other pieces. I think they drafted a pass rusher or two. I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see how they keep going. The offense is looking better. I do like the other wide receivers. I like Greg Dortch. He's a fast guy. And
yeah.
Michael Wilson. He's a 6'2". He played well last year. Anyways, they're on my list. Four on my list for a team that's a sleeper that did not make the playoffs last year.
Wait. I wonder if you'll have this one in there.
Well, I think it's the Colts. I think the
Dude,
Colts
that's what
are
I was just
are
looking at.
such a sleeper
Yeah.
because obviously Anthony Richardson, I got a lot of faith in him. They
Mhm.
got Jonathan Taylor, hopefully will be healthy. Then they drafted AD Mitchell, and they already had a breakout year a little bit from Josh Downs, who was solid. And then they, have Michael Pittman. And then their defense is pretty good. Their O-line's pretty good. I think they're in a manageable division, even though it's loaded with like the offensive talent in that division, but they could keep up because they have the pieces on offense. To say all that,
That's true.
they're four. Five off the top of my head. Honestly, I'm just going through the divisions right now. It's a toss up between either the Commanders or Loki the Seahawks
Wow. So you
because
don't have my sleeper team that I have.
I don't know. I guess I don't. But Commanders, real quick, they got a new coach. They got obviously Jaden Daniels, Austin Eckler. Um, I don't know. I think they'll be
I don't know,
solid.
they'll be good with
They're in a
Terry too.
they're in a decent position. They could, yeah, they have a good piece on offense. Their D line is still pretty good. Their corners are not that great, I don't think. That's the only thing that concerns me. But they're a solid team that I could see be a little frisky. And then the Seahawks, I would say I'm maybe leaning the Seahawks more just because they have more like experience at quarterback with Geno.
Hmm.
And then I really like what they're doing now. They have no Pete Carroll, so they're done with that era of run the ball, and have the Legion of Boom defense and all that kind of stuff. So basically now they hired um, gosh, I can't remember the guy's name, but the OC for the Seahawks is Ryan Grubb. He was supposed to be the OC at Bama before he took the job at Seattle. But basically, he was calling the place for Washington with like Michael Penix and Rome Odunze and all of them.
Yeah.
They're like throw the ball, 10 yards, 15, 20, hit you deep, whatever. Like they throw the ball. So JSN's gonna eat. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they're all gonna eat. Like it's not gonna be like sometimes you look at the Seahawks and you're like, man, like they don't really throw the ball like that. Like they were leading the league in like rush attempts for a while. They
Yeah.
weren't throwing the ball. Now they can run the ball because they have Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. But now they're really going to be throwing it like 60% of the time. So
As
I
they
think
should. I
that
mean, with the weapons you have,
I
they're
think that's a
stupid not
pretty
to.
pretty good team on paper. Maybe Sam Howell becomes the guy. Who knows? But those are my sleepers, and you can go ahead and do yours, sir.
All right, well, I kind of like those first two with the Titans and Bears because those are
Yep.
definitely the two biggest sleepers this year.
Yep.
But in that third slot, I'm gonna have to put the sleeper that you didn't have is the Jets with
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm pretty sure they were 9-8 last year. Nope, I'm kidding. 7-10. But I mean, still
Hmm.
7-10 with no A-Rod is pretty cracked.
Impressive. Yeah.
With, I mean, Brees Hall apparently is like the number one running back this year, besides Bijan, obviously.
Yeah. Well,
But it's
Christian,
those
but
two.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Okay,
those
well, at least
those
I'll
younger
put them in the
guys,
top five,
for
at least
sure.
from what I've been seeing. And I mean, when you got Garrett Wilson in that line too, with
They added Mike
uh
Williams too.
Mike Williams and Alan Lazard, who Aaron Rodgers has already got a good connection with,
Yeah, that's true.
like it's hard not to think that they could be contenders. I mean, Aaron
They already
Rodgers
have an elite
literally
defense.
carries the Green Bay Packers to the with the Devontae obviously, but
Hmm.
and Aaron Jones, but I mean he pretty much puts the team on his back when he needs to. If he can
Yeah,
get that Devontae Adams connection with Garrett Wilson,
yeah,
he'd be going up. With the Bills probably dropping a little bit and the
yeah.
Patriots just starting out
And the
anew,
Dolphins are going to be good, but how
Dolphins are
good?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I'm gonna say at 4, I'm low key I'm low key gonna put the Falcons.
Okay. I
Low
mean,
key.
I
Because I
just
mean
didn't want to
Kirk
glaze my team that
yeah, I
much, so
know.
I
But
kept
I
them
mean like
off.
dude, Kirk took the Vikings to the playoffs almost every year with and
Hmm.
I mean Drake London, I feel like Kirk Cousins just has potential to bring out the wide receivers best. Like
Yeah,
and especially with Kyle Pitts playing tight end and wide receiver,
yeah. I
like
know. I know.
who gonna stop that? Nobody.
I'm telling you, if he's healthy, it's going to be scary.
And then I know y'all got somebody else. I can't
You
remember
know what I
his
saw,
name.
by the way, that was very interesting?
Hmm.
This is not a yap sesh. This is just one thing. Kyle Pitts, that rookie year, bro, when he set the record for like rookie receiving yards for a tight end,
Yeah.
he had like 1,060 or something.
Yeah.
I saw that number, 1,060, would have been number one last season for all of tight ends. Because there was not
Wow.
a dude, there wasn't a single tight end that had 1,000 yards last year. George
No
Kittle was
shot.
like 960.
Dude, that's insane.
It's
I would
because
have
some
at
guys
least
were
thought
banged
Sam
up. Like,
Laporta.
no, he had like 900 or 890 or something. He just had a lot of touchdowns and catches. Travis didn't have 1,000. Mark Andrews was hurt. TJ
That's
Hawkinson was hurt.
crazy.
Evan Ingram had 100 and something catches, but only like 850
Yeah,
yards.
bro. What?
He was a check down machine.
I hate
Anyways,
that.
go ahead. I just thought that was very interesting. So Kyle Pitts could be a dog.
Kyle Pitts could definitely be a dog. And I want to say the last sleeper team has got to be the Colts
Yeah,
with Anthony Richardson. If he can stay healthy, bro, they're going to the playoffs.
for
I
sure.
mean, what he was doing in the first couple games when he was playing,
That's like such a
like
fun offense on
it
paper.
is, dude. It's like another Ravens offense, low
Yeah,
key with Lamar
but
and
with
the movement.
actually possibly good wide receivers.
Yeah,
Because like they
100%.
have
Michael
two,
Pittman.
Michael
They
Pittman
just they just
and
drafted
AD Mitchell.
yeah.
They're both like guys that are 6'2", can go get the ball.
Yeah,
Then
that's
you
gonna be
still
dummy.
have your slot guy and Josh Downs, who I think is really good. So yeah, they'll be good. That's really that
I
for the
like that.
NFL talk. The next thing, real quick, just want to touch on Team USA, the
Dude,
basketball
I'm
situation
not
right
gonna
now.
lie, bro. I feel like they look a little mid.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about. They
That
did
is.
still sweep. They went 5 and
They
0.
did.
They had a couple of close battles recently, including with a country, South Sudan, who's only been around, I believe, 13 years or something. They took Team
Bro,
USA to the
and
wire.
apparently they don't have any indoor gyms either.
Yeah, yeah.
Or nothing like
They get
that,
out
which
the
is,
mud and they just
dude,
outside
they wanted that
sweating.
dub.
So they really did. And the thing with that is like sometimes when you play these FIBA rules, it's a little hard for teams like Team USA to get used to. I don't know if it's because in NBA they just play a lot of like one on one sometimes. Like you just like,
Yeah,
here's your turn to score, go get it. And FIBA's more like a team thing. So you're like passing, cutting, setting screens
yeah,
nonstop. And it's like all the team chemistry is what is
yeah.
important.
I feel like that is their NBA, is their
So
Olympics.
they're like getting used to that. And that's why you play these 5 games or whatever before,
Yeah,
which is good. They did beat Serbia without KD, so they beat Jokic, they beat Bogey. They beat was they beat Germany because Schroeder was on that, and I
they
saw
beat
that.
Canada.
It was some close games though. They beat Canada with Shea. Actually, they looked pretty good against Canada, which was like their
They
first
did.
game. They had like the best roster wise. I feel like the best team. Like they beat Australia. They
But
beat
dude,
France with Rudy Gobert and no, did they play? They didn't play France. I don't think they beat Serbia, Canada, South Sudan, Germany, and maybe I'm missing a team. But anyways, 5 and 0. They won in the clutch against South Sudan because of LeBron. LeBron was clutching it
LeBron
up
has been going
the
crazy.
last couple games. He's just been
Yeah,
he basically go get a bucket, like go get a three. It's been LeBron, and that's why everybody's saying like he's actually the GOAT. Like all this
he
stuff,
is
whatever.
going kind of dummy.
I'm not gonna lie, LeBron is such a dog. Like you just gotta appreciate him while he's here still, even
Yeah,
though you might not. We're not always super huge
big
on
LeBron
LeBron.
fans,
Like I
but
like LeBron. I've liked him
yeah,
more when I was younger. When he was at the Heat, for some reason, I kind of gravitated to him more then. Didn't love as much when he went back to the Cavs. I don't know. It's mainly because I was kind of on the whole Warrior thing, and I just love seeing Steph and
yeah,
Clay kind of go crazy. And then, but I do appreciate LeBron's greatness, and so I
I
think that
do too.
it's sick for Team USA to see him at 39 or 40 almost like go
Just
crazy.
balling, bro.
Yeah, and they voted for
Just
him to
going
be the best
crazy.
player, so they appreciate and respect him. And one thing that we wanted to talk about was the 1992 Dream Team faced
Dude, yeah.
only 9 NBA players in the Olympics, and this Team USA in 2024 will be playing 61 NBA players.
That's crazy, man.
So that shows
Like
you
that just shows
one
how much
how many
international people have
exactly how many
now gotten
international
into the
people
league.
are really good, and then yeah, like that's why they've been struggling early on because they're playing NBA competition. And yeah, a lot of
People
people
know how
think,
they play.
oh, dude, like you're playing Dennis Schroeder, like, or you're playing Rudy Gobert, like they're not that great or whatever. Nah, like this is the reality is that the rules are different. They play more together in the off season. Other years in the past, they've had that chemistry. They know
Yeah.
what to do. It takes a while for them to keep going. And also, a lot of people have been coming for Steve Kerr, man, because he has not been playing the right players or drawing up the right plays. And so it's a little weird, but they
Dang.
also have a loaded bench of coaches. They have like Eric Spoelstra from the Heat.
Yeah.
They have who else is on this? I think they have like Gonzaga's head coach or something. A couple other guys I'm missing, but they have a lot of good coaches. Anyways, let's say all that. They should be okay. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
they're
mean,
gonna
I think they should still
lose.
go to gold. I mean,
KD will be
if
back, I don't know. It just to me it feels like they're not gonna lose because they have so much leadership from LeBron and Steph.
you're
I
not,
think that
and just
they'll
like playmakers,
and
dude, like
Steph's
you
also
can,
been in a slump. As soon as he comes out of that slump, it's over. Like it
it's
is
over.
over. So he's
It's
just been shooting a
over.
little bad, but he'll be fine. And then after that NBA talk, real quick, just wanted to touch on basically the top 3 picks and how they did in the summer league, real quick. So the Hawks,
Yeah,
my
no, you're
team,
happy.
yeah. So the Hawks had the number 1 pick. They were supposed to be, everybody said, drafting Alex Sarr. Everybody was losing their mind at the Hawks for not taking him. And I was kind of even a little skeptical. I was one Alex Sarr, but I just didn't know too much, right?
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm just a guy on the couch. I just love my team. I mean, I follow this stuff closely. Like I am locked in and I still don't even know a lot of these players that were in this draft. like I should because they're overseas and all that stuff. But I tried to do my research. I felt like Alex Sarr was a pretty good pick because he was 7'1". He could do a little bit of everything, but it looks, and from what I've heard in the past, like Jeff Teague that played on the Hawks and played in the NBA and on his podcast, he kind of said Alex Sarr to me wasn't all that when I saw him playing overtime elite for Atlanta or whatever in the G League thing. And a lot of other
Yeah,
people were saying that too. So I was like, maybe they have a point. Like I gotta wait and see. And then Alex Sarr went 9 for 47 in the summer league.
dude, like it doesn't get much worse. I mean, it obviously could be worse than that,
He
but it
was
doesn't get
one for
much
15
worse.
that one game.
I don't think he made a shot
There was
in
one
one of
game.
them.
Oh no, yeah, he was 0 for 15. My bad. I was
Yeah,
giving him one basket.
yeah,
No, he was
yeah.
0 for
No,
15.
he didn't make shit.
Nah, he didn't do anything. So, anyways, that was just like really crazy to see because you are the number 2 pick. But I've always had a theory, and I've never said it out loud, that every time you look at
Uh-oh.
like NBA drafts, the second pick is almost always a bust. The second pick is like, if you go look at them, I'll tell you, like, there's got to be a graphic somebody's done. Like, the second pick is always a bust, it feels like. So, and I'll pull
I'm
them
trying to
up and
think.
talk about it next podcast. But, like,
Yeah,
I'll
we
pull it up
need
right
to.
now, actually. But, like, literally, and I'll talk about it later in the show. But basically, that's always something I've found interesting. Second pick is always a bust. Draft bust. So the second, no, first pick, Hawks drafted Zach Ricochet. So
Yeah.
he only played 2 games, however, in the summer league because he kind of got banged up a little bit. They didn't want to risk an injury. He played well. First game, he had 18 points, did a little bit of everything, some assists, some rebounds, some blocks, whatever. He looked good. I'm actually impressed. I mean, maybe he could have shot the three a little bit more efficient, but he still made a couple threes. He looked good dribbling. He looked good posting up, making good reads on offense, and then playing good defense. So
I
I like
mean,
I like Zach Ricochet.
yeah. Last year's second pick is Brandon Miller
No, that
from
was the one
Bama.
exception. He's a dog.
One, yeah.
But like literally, bro, if you look at all these other drafts,
That's what I'm doing
there's
right
like a
now.
thing like about the second pick being historically terrible.
I mean,
Like in the past,
yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
not like
This one,
recent.
the one before, Magic drafted Paulo first round, and then the
But that was the
Thunder
first.
drafted Chet
Okay,
with the second pick.
those are just some dogs. Like just
Those
back,
are dogs.
yeah. Who I'm trying to
Cade
think.
Cunningham was the first pick of, and then
2020.
you got Jalen Green.
Okay, he's all right. He's not a
Oh,
bust.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And
But
then Anthony
really,
Edwards was 2020.
he was number
That's
one.
correct.
Who was
Yep.
number
And
two? James
then James
Wiseman.
Wiseman.
That's
Yeah.
where the Warriors
That's where
screwed
the,
up.
the little bust there.
Yep.
Little
Big
bust.
bust. That's terrible.
2019 was Zion, and then the second pick was Ja Morant.
Okay. Yeah. Dogs.
Dog,
Dogs. This
dog.
is more of like
2018.
an older, like
I mean, that's kind of a
historically.
bust a little bit.
Who?
DeAndre Ayton was first pick, and then it was Marvin Bagley to
Huge
the
bust.
Kings.
Nah,
Huge
huge,
bust. And
huge
then the
bust.
third pick was Luca to the
Yeah.
Hogs.
Yeah. But we all know how that
We
went.
all know how that
We got
goes.
Trey Young though.
Yeah, Trey Young.
Anyways.
Oh wow, second pick in 2017, Lonzo Ball.
Oh.
That
But
low
he's
key little
a little
bust.
bust. Yep.
So was the first pick, Markel Fultz.
Yeah, big
Bust.
bust.
Then the
Yeah.
third pick, Jason Tatum.
They're
Wow.
just so lucky, by the way. Anyways, there's got to be a graphic of like all these dudes that got drafted second, and they're just not good. But really, I guess you're proving that the last 5 or so years it wasn't that bad. But
Yeah, it
it
hasn't. It
it
hasn't been
does seem
horrible, but
like overall, though, for the most part, if you don't get that first player, like you're kind of reaching at number 2 sometimes, and
yeah.
you just kind of draft bad. But anyways, the third pick was they're calling him Cocaine Curry. Reed Shepard
Oh,
from
Reed Shepard. Yeah,
Kentucky,
dude, he's been
the
going
guard.
crazy.
He's been the guy that's putting up 25 points, you know, looking like the most pro ready player. The Hawks thought
Yeah,
about drafting him, but they didn't because
that
they
would have
have
been
Trey
cracked.
Young.
Yeah,
They didn't want
would
to
have
have
been kind
two
of fucked up.
guards
Yeah,
again, like the DeJounte dynamic.
yeah.
And anyways, but
Which I
now
like y'all's pick a lot for
yeah,
y'all's
I mean,
team.
he's been playing good, and I think he matches what we needed. Three point
Yeah,
shooting, good IQ, and also plays good defense. But he's gonna get better at creating shots, and I think he'll be able to be like a star in the making. So that's cool because hopefully the big three of the Hawks is Trey Young, Jalen Johnson, and Zach Ricochet for the future.
that'd be
And
cracked.
I like it's a
It is a
sleepy big
sleeper
three.
team.
But like
Yeah,
if you pay attention, Jalen Johnson had he took the leap last year. I know I talked about that in the past. Like he went from like 6 points to like 16 and 8
Yeah,
rebounds. Now he's gonna hopefully go to 20, make a push for like a most improved player, whatever. And then
yeah,
Zach Riche could hopefully in a couple years be that same kind of player. And then the Hawk could be cooking. But the
yeah,
Reed Shepard thing is one to touch on. He looks like a beast. And that Houston
yeah.
Rockets
He
team
does.
is interesting because the
He
Rockets
really
now have
does.
like a million young players, like a million. And they got Jalen Green, like you talked about, number 2 pick. He's a guard. They have Fred Van Fleet. They have Dylan Brooks. They have now
Mm,
Reed Shepard. They have Jabari Smith from Auburn, the 6'10" forward who can shoot. They have a lot of talent. They
it's a
have,
stud there.
I believe they have Cam Whitmore, who everybody's been high on. They drafted last year. They got a lot of players. A lot of people think it's a mess, so they got to trade some guys. But they know for sure Reed Shepard is their
For sure.
for sure. Reed Shepard is
Reed Shepard might be him.
the cornerstone piece. Anyways, that's that for the summer league. Just really interesting to see how these guys will develop. Maybe Alex Sarr will be a dog. Who knows?
Yeah,
It doesn't look like it. And you're going to the Wizards, so good luck,
doesn't
buddy.
look
Your
like. Yeah,
teammates are
you're
Jordan
actually
Poole and
fucked.
Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, you are
I'm just
actually
glad
screwed.
that the Hawks just said we're not going to deal with
Yeah,
that.
I'm glad for you.
So Zachary Shea, shout out to you. Hope you're a good player, man. We really need you. And then
Yep.
finally, just gonna play this little "Would you rather" fantasy football game.
Oh
Uh,
man.
Really quick, just gonna go through them the same as we've been doing the last couple
Mm,
weeks. It's gonna be basically all skill positions. We're gonna start with quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then we're gonna do those again. Except this time it looks like I didn't include a second set of tight ends, but it's because there's only so many good tight ends. So to
yeah.
say all that, would you rather for fantasy football PPR 2024 have Jared Goff or Brock Purdy?
Mm.
I
Is
just
this a
picked.
Brock Purdy with Brandon Ayuk on his team and Debo? Or is this a Brock Purdy
This
with
is just
maybe not?
what you know right now, what they got, and they did just put Ricky Pearsall on the pup list,
You
physically unable to
give me
perform.
Jared Goff, bro.
Okay,
Give me Jared Goff. Low
you know
key.
it's so hard because I feel like both these guys are
Both these guys
similar.
are cracked, dude.
Like they're good and they have a great offense. Now, the one thing I will say is that Brock Purdy is kind of quick and he can move.
He is
Jared
kind of
Goff
quick, but
is
I
a statue
feel like, and no hate whatsoever, but I feel like that team does sometimes get carried by Christian McCaffrey.
for
Like if
sure.
he just hands off that
I'm just
rock, like
thinking
Brock doesn't have
about
to do much.
I'm thinking about Pete like rushing upside in fantasy and how any rushing is good. And like
Yeah,
he
that's
could
true.
literally
Yeah.
scramble for 20 yards and then have a touchdown and be like, "Oh, that's
Yeah, Jared
something."
Goff doesn't be
Jared Goff
scrambling.
does not run. He
Does
is
not
literally
run.
if he does not have a clean pocket, he's screwed. And also the meme about Jared Goff that I've seen a little bit is like if he does not have a play action play called, he's also screwed. But
Yeah.
that's kind of how Matt Ryan was. He was a statue. He needed play action to help him. But I would agree with you, Jared Goff slightly over Brock Purdy.
Slightly, like
Slightly.
barely, bro. Like they're like back and forth.
Yeah, because I can see James Williams apparently looks like a beast right now in camp, and I can see
But
him
if
taking a
both of
step
them were
up.
on the board right there,
Yeah,
from what I know right now, I'm taking Jared Goff because
yeah,
Brandon Ayuk is in question.
yeah. That's what you got to ask yourself.
And
If you're drafting between these two players, who are you
who
going
are
with?
you picking? Yeah.
Next is running backs. This one I thought was interesting because they're both young and they're in the same division. Devon
Okay.
A. Chain or James Cook.
Mm.
One is like super upside, but two's got a good floor.
Twos
And
does
that's
have a good floor,
James
but
James Cook is like, you're getting probably 12 to 15 points a game.
yeah. And I
A
mean, it's
Chain,
only James Cook there, right?
they
I
did
mean,
bring in
they brought
the
in somebody. I can't
undrafted
remember.
free
Okay,
agent.
okay, okay, okay,
You
okay.
have him, Frank Gore Jr.
Yep. Okay, yeah. I mean,
and Ty Johnson, but he's back up. So
if like I said, if I'm going off of what I know now, and A Chain, I mean, I know it was his rookie year last year, but I gotta go A Chain, dude. With
I
the
think
amount
I
of
would too.
upside that he has, like
It's
if
just
he's busting out there for 40.
Yeah, if he's just popping off like he was, then
Like
it's
I'd take
clearly
40.
a
I'd
change.
take a 40 instead of having like a 12, 15 every week. I'd take a 40 and then
Yeah,
maybe
because
like under
sometimes you
10.
need that just to go
You need that
crazy, like
40,
just to
yeah.
secure a dub. Because sometimes you ain't gonna get a dub if you're just consistently getting 12 to 15. Like you
Yeah.
need somebody to carry, and
But it's
that could be him.
scary, dude, because
And Raheem
he's got to
Mostert's still
eat. That's what I'm
there, and they
saying, is
drafted
he's
a
got
running
to
back.
eat. Is he's got to eat when
Anyways,
he's in.
that's kind of part of the reason why I traded him after I drafted him, but because I just really
Not a bad
wanted
idea.
Jameer, I just wanted Jameer Gibbs and Drake London. But
Yeah,
Stephon
this guy.
Diggs or Nico Collins. I did that because they're on the same team,
Yeah.
both considered wide receiver ones. How would you view
Mm.
this? If you're on the board and you had to choose between these two,
I mean,
one is
if they're
successful.
on the board, if they're like right there on the board, I'm taking Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
I'm taking Diggs. I mean, like,
Today
sure he's on the new team.
I did see a tweet that was like, you got to still take, like, people were like basically saying Nico Collins is still the wide receiver one on this team, and it showed like a highlight of him at practice. But
I mean, I would not doubt it.
he's
But I mean, I
probably
feel
got
like
that connection better at
yeah,
first
yeah,
than
for sure. And I
TJ,
feel like
but
the good corners and stuff are gonna probably be covering Diggs more than Nico
yeah,
Collins. So that means Nico Collins is gonna
yeah.
eat. And
And
then if they're not covering Nico Collins,
Tank
Tank
Dell,
Dell. Oh my goodness.
they're so
That
nasty.
that team is gonna be cracked,
They might
dude.
go to the Super Bowl.
I'm not. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
like they're really good. And then what else? So we're agreeing probably. I don't know.
Stephon
We
Diggs.
kind of just
I'm
talked
going
ourselves maybe into Nico.
into Nico, low key.
I'm gonna say, well, we did say on the over under when we were going under
Sorry.
on Nico and over on Diggs, correct? I'm pretty sure we did that because I'm trying to think about like all the stuff we've done in the podcast and stay true to that because I don't want to
Yeah.
veer any other way. I'm pretty
I
sure we
mean, I'm
all said under on Nico at like 1,000. We said he's not getting 1,000, but
yeah, I can.
we did say over on Diggs at like 950.
That is true.
I'm pretty
I mean,
sure
I'm
we
pretty
did.
sure I said over on Diggs because he's literally my
He's in
yeah,
your dynasty.
yeah.
I'm gonna say Diggs, but it's so close. It is
It is
like
so close, dude.
crazy close. Yeah, while you're pulling that up, I'll go ahead and ask the
Yep,
question
if I
out
could
loud.
find it.
It's all good. This one's a tight end question. Two guys that are top of their respective positions. Mark Andrews or TJ Hawkinson?
Oh, I'm going Mark Andrews.
Right.
100%, dude.
Me too.
All day, every day. Especially
Because
with what I know now.
the
Like
Vikings
what's gonna
offense.
happen this season.
Yeah.
I'm taking that connection that Lamar has with Mark instead of the new
Yeah.
connection with maybe Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy with TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah. I put them on there together because they're interchangeable as like far as like two or three or four, I guess, because
Yeah,
Kittle's in that mix. But like they're really good tight ends, and also they both suffered injuries last year at the end of their season.
yeah. That
Um,
is true.
Mark
That's
Andrews
true.
will be really good though this year. I feel like,
I
but
think so, man.
TJ Hawkinson's gonna he's gonna be struggling because of the quarterback situation plus his injury is gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
of a
It's gonna hold
pain.
him back a little bit, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Sam Darnold or Derek Carr? Who would you rather have in fantasy? I know it's ugly, but I wanted to throw this out there because I feel like they're on the same tier right now.
Where is Derek He's on the fucking
Saints.
Saints.
Dude, like
Oh
that's what I'm
my god.
saying. So look at this. Look at it like this. Saints have Kamara, Chris Olave, and
Yeah,
Rashid Shaheed. Those are their weapons.
that's about
And
it.
Taysom Hill. And then you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that's cracked.
Is
I'm
Sam
taking Sam
Darnold the
Darnold.
guy? Like I'm
Yeah.
thinking, but Sam Darnold, you got JJ McCarthy breathing down your neck.
You
I know it's
do.
not scary, but like
I
it's
mean, it
some
is kind of scary though.
Derek's got the job,
Yeah,
you know?
that is true. But I mean, if I'm,
You're just going upside here. And it's really like these are your quarterback twos. Like these aren't your starting quarterbacks in
yeah,
fan. Like
then I'm
if you're
probably
starting
taking
Sam Darnold, you got a problem.
yeah, you fucked up.
You did not
You
draft
did
well.
not.
Let me tell you.
No, you didn't
Derek
draft
Carr
any
is your quarterback
quarterback.
one. Yeah, you're going to the
You
loser
might as
bracket.
well go. Yeah,
You might as well be fighting for that top draft pick at
you
that
might.
point.
Yeah, you might as well just tank at that point.
Yeah, you're screwed, buddy.
Like you're sold.
Another thing here. This is the same teams that we're talking about. Alvin
Oh.
Kamara or Aaron Jones? Who would you rather have?
Oh.
Same offenses, same teams, just different positions.
Mm.
One dude is for sure better. That's Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
But Aaron Jones has been really good in fantasy at times, and he played really well at the end of
he
last
has, and
year.
I'm curious to see what happens with him on this new team.
I don't know. I'm
Because
gonna go Alvin Kamara.
I feel like, oh man, I kind of want to go Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, just because I feel like if they're not throwing the ball well with those two quarterbacks like Sam or JJ, like they're gonna have to rely on Aaron Jones to
Yeah.
take the rock. But oh man,
He gets
that's
banged up too much for me.
yeah. I
I
mean,
had him last year. He was hurt a
doesn't
lot.
Kamara too?
Yeah, but not as much
A
as
little
Aaron.
bit.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I
Alvin just
guess
had like a suspension thing. That
he's
was
kind
it.
of got a little bit more of an upside too. Kamara does
Alvin
with throwing and
Aaron
catching the
Jones
ball
can
with
catch
PPR.
too, but it's like Alvin's just that guy when it comes to pass catching. Like he's always
Yeah,
been like that. So I don't know. I would say Alvin Kamara, but that's just
I
me.
like that though.
It's a tough one.
I like that.
Last on the list is Calvin
Mm.
Ridley or Chris Olave.
I mean, this one's kind of like almost set in stone a little bit. Like if we're talking about this coming up season, like you're telling me you would take Calvin Ridley over Chris Olave in an offense at the Titans with D Hop and Keenan Allen? Or
No,
my bad,
Tyler
my
Boyd.
bad. Yeah, Tyler Boyd and D Hop. Like I'm taking that number one wide receiver in Chris
Yeah, I
Olave.
guess you're right. You make a good point there. I do love Calvin. I have him on my dynasty, but he's like my wide
Yeah,
receiver four. So like
yeah,
it's different, you know. Like I
it
got
is.
Drake, Zay, Flowers, Christian Kirk, and then Calvin.
Yeah,
I got him specifically just for when there's games that there's no D Hop and
yeah.
he's the featured guy, or there's no Tyler Boyd or
And I mean,
whatever.
you throw that question up in there too with Will Levis. Like, is
Right.
Will Levis really
Yeah.
like? I mean, Derek Carr, I guess, isn't that much
Not
better, but I
he's
mean, he's
not that
definitely more of a
good.
veteran, and he's been in those
And
situations
he's got
more
the
than
connection right now with Chris Olave. I think
yeah.
off the top of my head, I'll look real quick. Chris Olave was wide receiver.
He was top 15, top 10, I think.
Was he 12? Let me just throw that out there. Let's see. Let's go look at Caleb's team. He has
I'm
Chris
gonna say he was.
Olave.
I'm gonna say he was 9.
No, he does not have Chris Olave. My bad. You said he was 9. Oh, I don't know if
Say
he
he
was
was
that
9.
good. Okay, let's check. Chris Olave. So the 2 years that Chris Olave has been in the league, first year he was 25 in PPR. Last year he was 16.
16. Dang, I said top
Calvin
15.
Calvin Ridley last year was 18, I
Wow.
believe.
So they're. Oh, wow. That's kind of
And
crazy how
then
close they were.
Calvin Ridley's best season, he was wide receiver four for the
Who
Falcons.
who was Derek Carr on the Saints last year?
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
what? Why did that not click in
Because
my
they just
head?
weren't good.
What the hell, man?
I'm telling you, dude, I watch them twice a year play the Falcons.
Oh, that's yeah.
We beat them once in Atlanta, then they beat us at the last game of the season, and Arthur Smith got fired. So thank you, Saints.
Thank you,
Uh,
Saints. You're the best for that.
Derek Carr last year finished. Dude, it's so funny. Every year, Derek Carr is the middle of the pack. I'm looking at it right now 16, 17, 13, 14, 17, 20, 19, 12, 14, and 20.
No
No
way he's
top
never had a top
ever
10.
been top 10.
Wow, bro, you're actually definition of mid. That's
He's literally the
crazy.
most consistently mid quarterback there's ever been.
I mean, dude, if you want like a quarterback that'll get you some average points, like if you're not going for any quarterback
But
in the
he's
draft,
never won a playoff game. So crickets.
yeah, enter the crickets in the chat.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. But I think we should wrap up the show for that.
Yep, I
We
think we
might have
should.
yapped a little
Sorry,
too
Derek.
much, but I don't like the Saints. Sorry, guys, but it is what it
It,
is.
it it's
I
a
like
division
Camaro though.
rivalry, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I like
it
Camaro.
happens, man. Just like me with
Um,
the Bengals, Browns, and Ravens.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Real
Love the
quick,
fans.
let's rank our most hated teams in our divisions. Number one
Oh
for me is
God,
clear Saint. Number two for me It's interchangeable, really, but I guess I would go Bucks because more recently they won the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
Tom Brady and all that. Third, Panthers, and they're not really that scary. So
Yeah.
those are my orders. But back in the day, I
I'm
hated the Panthers with Cam Newton. Hated them.
yeah, I loved them.
I know you
I
did.
did.
Who's your most hated?
Um,
Was I'm gonna guess
my most
Ravens.
hated's gotta be the Browns. It's
What?
close between the Browns and the Bengals, dude.
Why the
I'm not gonna
Browns?
lie. I don't know, man. Just,
It's not the
I mean,
Ravens.
no, I
People
mean,
hate the
I
Ravens.
know, dude. It's so hard to pick between the three, dude. I've just been recently hating the Browns because of all the Miles Garrett hype and
You just
everybody's saying
hate.
that he's better
He's
than
better than
TJ Watt.
TJ.
And dude, I
Yeah,
fucking hate that shit, dude. And he won Defensive Player of the Year last year
I know.
when
That
it
was that
should have
was
been
rigged.
TJ.
That was
That was
rigged.
so rigged, bro.
It was
That
just
was so
because they
rigged.
made the playoffs. That was the only reason why they
Dude,
gave it
I
to him.
honestly hate them all the same. Like, I
Yeah,
hate
I
them.
know.
I
Well,
just
you
hate
actually
them.
have a good point because your division's like so
It's
competitive.
so
Like our
correct,
division's
dude.
like always been, for the most part, historically since I've been alive, is always between like the Saints or the Falcons. The Bucks and the Panthers were never really that good. Like
Yeah,
when Cam came, the Panthers got good, and then when
yeah,
Brady came, the Bucks were good for a couple of years. But like the
yeah,
Saints and the Falcons, when Drew Brees and Matt Ryan were on top, it was like
yeah,
them every other year.
yeah.
So.
Oh man, I just
Anyways,
hate them. Hate
that's
them
really
all.
it. We just wanted to jump on here,
Sorry
get this
guys.
pod
No, don't
recorded.
hate y'all though. If you're a
No,
Browns, Bengals, or Ravens fan, I love you.
they're probably leaving. Or they probably already left. They're not
They probably
even.
aren't even listening to the pod.
Nah, they're not on. They found out quickly. We're not listening to this pod.
Yeah, they're like
Hey, this
these
pod's not for
fuckers.
everybody. If you
Hey, it's
love
not.
Bama and you love the SEC, that's cool. If you love the Falcons, the Titans, or the
And the
Steelers,
Steelers.
you're welcome with us.
You're
Or if you
welcome.
just,
And then we love a lot of other teams too,
hey,
but
if
them
you just want to
ones in
hear
our
some,
divisions,
yeah, yeah.
you're not gonna get much love. You will get love though. You
Yeah,
will for sure. Like, don't get me wrong.
we appreciate everybody.
We
We do.
do.
We don't discriminate around here for
No,
all
we don't,
teams.
but might be a little trash
We
talk now,
we
but
just
hey,
we
nah.
just we just don't like you when the season comes around.
Yeah, when we
About
play you,
that.
we don't like you.
That's about it.
That's about it though.
Well, anyways, we appreciate everybody, and
Yep.
Seth, thank you for joining. And it's been a little bit since we did
Always a
this,
pleasure.
but it's been fun to get back and talk about it.
Yep, it
I'm just
has.
ready. I just want to say I'm ready for
I'm
football.
ready for football,
We're a
bro.
couple
Even
weeks
though,
away from
dude,
preseason.
I'm letting everybody know here, bro. I am so bad at fantasy football. It's not even funny. I'm not even trying to be bad,
It
but
just
I literally am
happens.
just so bad.
I like
And then on
actually
top
feel
of that, the
bad.
season hasn't even started, and Dak hasn't signed with his team. CD hasn't signed with his team. I just got my rookie, my best rookie that I probably drafted
Ricky
in my
Pearsall,
dynasty.
he's on the
He's
pup
on the
list.
pup list. Stephon Diggs is over here fighting with his team. Bro, I'm already chalked in the season hasn't even sniffed two
Oh
months
my
just about.
god. Is there
Dude, like
anybody
I'm
else
just so
that's
down.
is there
Let me look. Let
anybody?
me look real
I
quick
think that's
before
about
we
it
fall
though.
off.
I
I don't
I'll
know.
say one thing. I just have OBJ and he went to the pup list. That's about it. But I
Yep.
kind of figured that.
I mean, I got Diggs. My two wide receivers, CD and Diggs, chalked. Dak, chalked.
They're not chalk though. They're good. They're gonna be.
Chalked.
They're all gonna play. That's the thing. They're all gonna be playing. It just
And
looks
then my
bad.
running backs are already bad. So it's like I'm just fucked.
Nah, it's real. Well, realistically, here's what's gonna happen. They're all gonna be fine. They're gonna play. It's just your dynasty in the long term might be screwed. Because
Yeah. Where's Dak
let's
going?
say
Where's CD
CD
going?
doesn't want to play for the Cowboys or Dak doesn't resign. What are you gonna do? Those are your
What
like
the?
I'm just so worried about your team, dude.
You're telling me, dude, I
Oh
haven't
my
even been trying to look at it because every time I look at it, a notification from Adam Schefter pops up and it says, "Hey, buddy, you're fucked. You might as well not even. You might as well not even play this."
God.
I'm having a stroke over here
This
talking about
guy's
my team.
tweaking off this fantasy. Oh my
Holy shit,
god.
dude! It's not even.
It's
We're
not
not
even
even sniffing it
August.
yet.
You got a week till that,
I'm like
buddy.
crying, bro. I'm fucked.
All right, well, let's get out of here. Thanks
Yep.
for everybody just
Thanks for tuning in,
listening.
guys. Hearing in
We'll be
my
back next
depressing
week.
story. Yep.
We don't really know how our schedule is going to be like
Yeah, we might
recording,
switch
and
up.
it might be just like random days at this point.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to stick to like middle of the week. I feel like for now, we talked about doing a little bit of Friday, and I guess I'll talk to you about this right now, Seth, real quick. I was thinking if we did post on Friday or record on Friday during the season, that's fine, but I also still feel like we got to record another episode before
Another
that
episode.
because
Yeah.
I want to talk about what's going to
The week
happen
prior.
on Thursday night, even because
Yeah.
some of these Thursday night games this year are going to be good, and also
Yeah.
what just happened. Because I feel like for engagement purposes and getting everybody to like watch our TikToks or whatever,
Yeah,
Honestly, if we're waiting until Friday to talk about something that happened 5 days ago, it might be a
it's
little
not
late.
happening.
But I'm
Yeah,
all for it. Let's record Tuesday and Friday. Like I'm
yeah,
cool. And we can make it like
yeah,
shorter episodes and whatever. So
yeah.
we'll figure it out. But
Maybe even
that's
recording a pod during the Monday night game. Like we're like
mm,
doing the pod
we could
while
be
watching. I don't
watching
know. That
it.
could be
It could be.
crazy,
We
but
could
or
be.
like a live pod
I could be.
talking about
I could
like
be down
Saturday,
for that.
Sunday, and watching the game, sweating our bets.
Yeah, y'all let us
I don't
know
know,
though. I
man.
mean, maybe we should because we can only go live right now on Instagram, and I guess we
Yeah.
could technically make a Twitter and go live
I
on
was
that
thinking Twitter or maybe even like a Twitch
or YouTube.
or YouTube. Yeah, we could go
Could
live on
go
YouTube
on
and
YouTube.
Twitch.
Yeah, we could
We could go
definitely
live
do
on
that.
both. That'd be
I
crazy.
just gotta figure out how to make that happen.
We
But we'll
gotta get
think about it.
laptops or like something. I don't know. Some
Yeah,
mics.
or we just
We need
meet
to
up in
figure it
person
out.
and do it. I
Yeah.
don't know. All right, guys. We're just starting out. Everybody,
Yep.
thanks for sticking with us.
Still
We're
learning.
just figuring it all out. But we're
We'll
talking
get it.
ball. We hopefully know ball. Who knows? We think we
Who
do.
knows, man?
Maybe we don't.
I don't know fucking ball.
This is my
My
fantasy.
fantasy team doesn't know ball.
He doesn't know ball. But I'll be on tonight if you're gonna be in Discord. So
Hey
let me
man, I'll be
know.
in there. I'll be in there
Anyways,
playing Elden Ring.
thank you.
Wishing I could play NCAA.
Yeah, thanks for
Anyway,
joining, sir.
yep.
I hope Cody feels better. Hope everybody's good. But once
Gotta go
again,
check
this
on
was
his
the Muff
ass.
Sports Show. I'm your host Hayden Haynes. This is my co-host Seth
Yes,
Killen,
sir.
and we are out.
Peace.
Peace. If I could end it.